Okay, thank you so much. You're most welcome to this afternoon class. This is Teacher Ben. I'm going to take you through integrated science at Yaka Digital Learning Network. So integrated science. So last week we started with accidents and first aid. In fact, it is accidents, injuries, and then first aid. That is what we started with. But we couldn't complete everything. We had to stop on the way. And today we plan to continue from where we stopped last time. So that is under accidents and first aid. I'm happy that learners are doing different units, and I want to encourage each one of you to identify the challenges. Some are doing sound energy, some are doing classification of animals, some are doing classification of plants. So when you find challenges, you should be in position to contact the teacher and be in position to ask different questions. As simple as that. So for the case of those who have joined us late, we already covered resources in the environment. We finished everything about resources. So make sure you catch up with the team, with the entire class, to copy those notes and be able to identify some areas where you find challenges. And then we also talked about, we also looked at sound energy, that is under matter and energy. So we looked at sound energy and we finished the whole unit. So for those who have just joined, you should be in position to complete everything about sound energy, and then ask questions where you need any assistance. As simple as that. So today, we are basically going to look at accidents and first aid. Accidents, injuries, and first aid. Maybe before we move any further, before we look at what we intend to look at today, we'd like to remind ourselves on what an accident is. What are accidents? So that is what we are going to start with. We need to understand what an accident is, because today we are looking at accidents, injuries, and first aid. So we need to understand what accidents are, what injuries are, and then what first aid is, so that we can move on successfully. So without wasting any much time, I would like to ask Jesse to tell us something that he knows about an accident. What is an accident? If you know something about an accident, you let me know. If you don't know, you also tell me that I don't know. Yes, Jesse.
Is a sudden happening that injures somebody.
That does what? Yes.
A sudden happening that injures people.
Okay, a sudden happening that injures people. As simple as that. So that is a correct answer. However, you can also say an accident is a sudden happening that may cause harm to the body. If you don't want to use the word harm, you will simply use the word injury. An accident is a sudden happening that may cause injury to the body. As simple as that. So you don't need to use maybe harm or injury to the body. You choose one word. You can simply say an that, as simple as that. Now, suppose you don't want to use the word sudden. You can also use another English word that still means sudden. So you can also use another word on behalf of sudden. You can say an accident is an abrupt happening. An accident is an abrupt happening that may cause injury to the body. As simple as that. So you have also talked about injury. What is an injury? What is an injury? According to you, Jesse, what is an injury? According to you?
Teacher, I don't know.
Okay, so from the definition of an accident, we say that an accident is a sudden happening that may cause harm to the body. So that harm is what we call the injury. That harm is the injury. So in case they ask you to define the term injuries, you will simply say an injury is harm on the body, which is caused by an accident. An injury is harm on the body, which is caused by an accident. Harm on the body, which is caused by an accident. Maybe something, maybe hot water has burnt you. Maybe fire has burnt you. That is harm on the body, and it is later termed as an injury. So any harm in your body is what we call an injury. Any harm on your body is what we call an injury. And injuries are caused by accidents. So if they ask you that question, that what is an injury, simply say an injury is harm on the body which is caused by an accident. As simple as that. Is harm on the body which is caused by an accident. So we said that an injury is harm on the body, which is caused by an accident. Allow me share my screen so that we may go through this work together. As simple as that. Since you were first timer and you didn't look at this work with us last time, we will have to start afresh right away from here. So this is what we are talking about. We are talking about an injury. Now we have said that is harm on the body, which is caused by an accident. That's simple as that. So these are the different injuries that affect our bodies. These are the different injuries that harm our bodies, as simple as that. So the different injuries include, listen attentively. The different injuries or examples of injuries include burns and scars, animal bites like dog bites, snake bites, electric shocks, foreign bodies, insect bites, and stings, like bee stings, cuts and wounds, fractures, poisoning, near drowning and drowning, fever and convulsions. The convulsions also called the fits, nose bleeding, and then we have fainting or stroke. So these are the different examples of injuries that harm our bodies. All these injuries are caused by an accident. When you fall in the water, you can get an accident called near drowning. Near drowning is just about to die. If you near drown, then you were almost to die. Then if you drown, it means you have died as a result of an accident that happened in water. When you fall in a deep swimming pool, you don't know how to swim, you can drown, meaning you have died as a result of the water filling up your lungs. As simple as that. Then for the case of fever, sudden rise in body temperature. The body temperature rises high from nowhere. Poisoning, you eat something which is poisonous to the body, then you can die. Fractures, the same thing. If any force is applied on your body, on your bones, the limbs, or whichever bone, you can get what we call a fracture, because a fracture is a cracked or broken bone. So going forward, we shall look at all these examples of injuries one by one, because we shall need to understand what a burn is, what a skull is. We shall need to understand what cuts and wounds are. We need to understand what foreign bodies are. We need to understand what fractures are. So we shall look at these injuries one by one. As simple as that. So in case we ask you to give the examples of injuries, be able to mention any two of these. But it is very important for you to know all of them. As simple as that. There are simple questions that you can be asked. Discuss the accidents, the causes of accidents and injuries at home, at school. Suggest ways injuries at home can be controlled. Injuries at school can be controlled. These are the examples of road accidents. Accidents that occur on the road. Can you tell me some of these examples of accidents that occur on the road? Yes, Jesse? Yes, Jesse?
Car knocks, bicycle knocks, motorcycle knocks, car crash.
And then the car crash, as simple as that. So we also have the causes. What are the causes of accidents on the road? Causes of accidents on the road.
Teacher, overloading vehicles, motorcycles and bicycles, speeding of vehicles, motorcycles and bicycles, playing on the road by young children, driving on or riding under poor mechanic condition, drinking alcohol while driving, poor or bad roads, failure to follow traffic signs and rules, compassing against some traffic officers.
This is corruption among some traffic officers. Simple as that. So these are some of the causes of road accidents. Causes of road accidents. 1 is overloading, 2, speeding of vehicles, 3, playing on the road, 4, driving under poor mechanical condition, drinking while driving, poor roads, failure to follow traffic signs, and then corruption among some traffic officers. As simple as that. So those are some of the causes. If the traffic officers become corrupt, it means that the accidents will increase. If you fail as a person, a pedestrian, or anybody, road user, if you fail to follow the road signs or the traffic signs, you can get an accident. They are telling you that there is a bend in front and then you're speeding, that reduce the speed, then you continue speeding, you get an accident. They are telling you that there is a hump ahead, reduce the speed, and then you continue speeding, you can get an accident. So this is what we are talking about. And then if the roads are very poor, you can also get an accident. You're drinking while driving, you can also get an accident. You're driving a car which is in poor mechanical condition, a car that needs repair, can get an accident. You go and play on the road, you can be knocked. You get a car crash, you get car knocks, bicycle knocks, and everything. And then if you speed, speeding is not good. You need to drive at a moderate speed to avoid the accidents. And then overloading, even bicycles, if you overload a bicycle, it can still cause you an accident. So these are some of the causes of accidents. So how would you, as a P6 child, control road accidents? How can you, as a P6 child, control road accidents? Give ways accidents on the road can be controlled. Yes, Jesse?
Motorists should stop overloading vehicles, motorcycles, and bicycles. Motorists should stop overspeeding vehicles, motorcycles, and bicycles. Young children should be stop playing on roads. Motorists who drive under poor mechanical conditions should be arrested by the traffic officers. Drunkard motorcycle
That is
should
drunken
be
motorist. Drunken motorist.
and
Drunken motorist.
motorists should be arrested by the traffic officer. Government should make good roads and repair the bad roads. Motorists should follow traffic signs. Corruption of traffic officers should be arrested or be removed from their jobs.
Okay, so those are some of the ways accidents on the road can be prevented. As simple as that. That is how it is. That is how it is. So these are the ways accidents on the road can be controlled. As Jessia said, that motorists should stop overloading. Motorists should stop overspeeding. Young children should stop playing on the road. Motorists who drive under poor mechanical conditions should be arrested by traffic police. Drunken motorists should be arrested by traffic police. Government should make good roads and repair the bad roads. Motorists should follow traffic signs. Corrupt traffic officers should be arrested or be removed from their jobs. As simple as that. So we have Happy. You're welcome. You have got us discussing about accidents and first aid. We say that an accident is a sudden happening that may cause injury to the body. And then we also talked about injuries. We said that injuries are harm. Injuries are harm on the body caused by an accident. As simple as that. It seems Happy has a problem with her internet, and and this is even Esther, it is not happy. So let's continue with that. She will get the recording later. So that is it. Those are some few ways how you can control accidents on the road. We also need to understand what first aid is. What is first aid? I know in primary 4, you also learned about first aid. What is first aid?
First aid is the first help given to a casualty before he or she is taken to the hospital.
Come again, your internet is a little bit shaky. It is breaking. Can you repeat that? What is first aid?
First aid is the first help given to a casualty before he or she is taken to the hospital.
Before he or she is taken to the hospital. Why do we give first aid? Why do we give first aid? Can you give reasons why we give first aid?
To save the life of the casualty, to promote recovery of the casualty, to prevent the condition of the casualty from becoming worse, to reduce pain, to prevent a casualty from getting further fractures, to compose the casualty, to create friendship between a casualty and the first aider.
To create friendship between the casualty and the first aider. As simple as that. So those are the reasons why you should give first aid to a casualty, to save life, to promote quick recovery, to prevent the condition of a casualty from becoming worse. Sometimes we can say to prevent, to promote quick recovery. Then to relieve or to reduce pain, to prevent the casualty from getting further injuries, and then to comfort the casualty. So sometimes you can be asked a question to give a reason or to give the main reason of giving first aid. What is the main reason of giving first aid?
To save life.
It is simply to save life. That's the reason why we give first aid, to save life. So let's look at this part. It should be the last part that we shall look at. This part here, qualities of a good first aider.
He or she must be kind. He or she must be knowledgeable about the type of first aid to be given to a casualty. He or she must be a good timekeeper. He or she should be obedient.
He or she should be observant.
He or she
should be observant.
He or she should be gentle. He or she should be confused. He or she should be resourceful. He or she should have common sense.
So he or she should have common sense. So these are the qualities. For you to be a good first aider, you must have these following qualities. You must be kind or sympathetic. You must be knowledgeable, should be a good timekeeper, you should be observant, should be gentle, should be confident, you should be tactful and resourceful, and then you should have common sense, as simple as that. So this is basically what we need to understand today in this lesson. We have been talking about accidents and first aid in primary 6 science. accidents, injuries, and first aid. And we are discussing the qualities of a good first aider. And then lastly, we need to understand this other part before we stop. As a first aider, there must be steps that you should follow as a first aider. The first thing that you have to do is to reach the area of accident very fast. Then notice the problem or the cause of the injury or accident. Then you can also apply the ABC approach. And this question is very common. They always ask you to write ABC in full as used in first aid. Write ABC in full as used in first aid. Write ABC in full as used in first aid. Write ABC in full as used in first aid. The first A stands for airway. It stands for airway. Then for B, it stands for breathing. Then the other one is saturation of blood. What do we mean by airway? Airway. So when giving first aid, you should always make sure that you clear the place. People should not surround the victim. People should create a space for air, for fresh air, for the victim to get fresh air. So after you've cleared the way, because it is always very common that when someone gets an accident, people gather together, people collect and they gather. They want to surround the casualty. That is not allowed. As a first aider, you have to clear the way. You clear the way for easy breathing. And then B, you have to check if the casualty is still breathing, because some get accidents and then they just die straight away. So you have to check if the casualty is breathing. Then lastly, you have to check the saturation of blood. Saturation of blood. As simple as you check whether the blood is moving, is still rotating in the body. As simple as that. So that is what we want to look at today. Next time when we meet, we shall look at the terms used in accidents. And it would be better if you also log into the site and then have that part we have discussed written down and answer the different questions that need to be answered. As simple as that. That is it for now, unless you have any question.
Teacher, no?
Okay. So if there is no question, I would request you that you write those that work, and then so that next time we shall continue from the terms used in accidents, injuries, and first aid. Simple as that. So that's it. Thank you for coming. Thank you for attending. Thank you for participating. We meet next time. I remain Teacher Ben, Integrated Science, the ACAD Digital Learning Network. Thank you so much.
Bye, teacher.
Bye.